Hi guys, welcome back to your reading channel. Today we are reading Adventure According to Humphrey. So, I got good news and bad news. And guys, don't listen to this, but this might be kind of private. So, here's the subscriber, May. If you're watching this, I'll tell you what happened, okay? So, the bad news is that May, which is one of my friends from my school, got hurt. And I'm a bit heartbroken right now, so I might be reading the book a bit, not clearly a bit. So if you see me doing strange reactions, I will apologize. So, May, if you're watching this, enjoy it, and I hope you are okay and you're feeling better. Let's get started. We're reading chapter 7, An Unpleasant Discovery. So, let's get started. My friends in room 26 have been thinking so much about books. I was relieved to be at the Brisbane's house, where they always pay a lot of attention to me. You can imagine my surprise when they continued to think about nothing but books all weekend, too. Miss Brisbane read about model sailboats, sketched them, and worked on them in his garage workshop. Meanwhile, Mrs. Brisbane kept busy writing things on a piece of paper. Every once in a while, she'd stop and chuckle. When I first met Mrs. Brisbane, she never chuckled. In fact, she hardly even ever smiled because of Mr. Brisbane's automobile accident. But slowly over time, she regained her sense of humor. Maybe I helped just a little bit. Still, it was unusual for her to sit and chuckle in a room all by herself. People often say and do very strange things in front of me, almost as if I'm invisible. And here, I totally forgot when I do this. Can you give me a hi? Finally, Mr. Brisbane came in from the garage. You're still working on your list, he asked. Yes, she said, chuckling again. I tell you, this is going to be one fun field trip. So that was it. She was planning to picnic at Potter's Pond. Oh, what I would give to get a peek at her list. Luckily, the Brisbanes started yawning early, and even though I would have liked to have them set up a nice obstacle course for me to run, I wasn't that sorry to see them go to bed. You see, I had a plan. And when a hamster has a plan, almost nothing, can stand in his way. I waited until the house was very, very, very quiet. Then I fiddled with my cage door. And as usual, it swung right open. Thank goodness for my lock that doesn't lock. I was feeling escapably adventurous because the only peril I faced at the Brisbane's house was the possibility of caught being outside my cage. I was willing to take the chance because I had a mission to find out more about the picnic at Potter's Pond. could see that the list was sitting right on Mrs. Brisbane's desk. Of course, before I set out, I had to map my route, just like sailors and even pirates do. I slid down the ledge of a low table where my cage sat and scurried across the carpet. It felt nice on my paws, but I couldn't move as fast on it as I can on all those shiny, slippery floors. The desk looked like a mountain to a small hamster like me. However, I knew that there's a will and a plan, there's a way. Close to the desk, there was a nice cozy chair with a striped blanket wrapped over it. I grabbed onto the blanket and pulled myself up, paw over paw, then hopped off the light. As she was close to the bedroom door, I heard her tell Bert, "You're going to have to build me a magazine rack." "I'll be happy to," reply, after the boat race. It was quiet for the rest of the night, but I didn't sleep a wink because of what I'd seen on Mrs. Brisbane's list, especially the mysterious secret G. Potter's Pond. Mysterious G. The mysterious secret G. The boat race at Potter's Pond. The maps and the colorful treasure certainly sounded exciting, with a pirate captain along. It could be scary and even dangerous. Still, the more I thought about it, the more I knew that's scary or not. I didn't want to miss that boat race for anything in the world. I slept in late on Sunday and woke relieved and refreshed. The Brisbanes were in a happy mood, and so was I. After all, I was going on a treasure hunt soon, or so I hoped. In the afternoon, Mr. Brisbane brought a model sailboat into the living room. It was a fine-looking craft with a crispy yellow sail and a bright red hull. "I couldn't resist making a boat of my own," he told Mrs. Brisbane. "It's great, but only a student can win the prize," she replied. "I know," Bert said. I set the boat on the table and opened my cage door. "Let's see what kind of a sailor Humphrey would make," he said. Mrs. Brisbane quickly stacked up books, looked around the edge of the table so I couldn't escape. "I don't think he'll like it one bit," she said. I couldn't believe that my teacher, who is smart most of the time, could be so wrong. I make an incredible sailor, I just knew it. Mr. Brisbane gently set me on the boat. "See, Humphrey, it's just your size." Yes, it was exactly my size. Felt as if I'd been born to sail in that boat. Stood at the bow. That's the front of the ship. I imagined myself setting sail for a far-off island in search of hidden treasure. "Looks like he's a born sailor," Mr. Brisbane observed. "Now there's a smart man." "Don't be ridiculous," his wife said. "I wouldn't let Humphrey get within sight of the water." What an unspeakably thing to say. "Why?" Mr. Brisbane asked. Why, I asked too. "Because hamsters must never get wet," Mrs. Brisbane explained. "They catch chills easily and get sick or even die. Plus, water removes the good oils in a hamster's fur. You really shouldn't read up on hamsters the way I have Bert. My heart sank to the bottom of my paws. This was worse news than anything Mrs. Wright ever said. Guess you're not going to Potter's Pond, my friend, Mrs. Brisbane told me. I felt like I was spinning without my wheel. I felt sick. I felt I was spinning without my wheel. I felt sick with disappointment. I felt just about as bad as I did when Miss Mac left and broke my hamster heart. No way, Mrs. Brisbane agreed. Besides, the poor thing would be terrified of launching you. She had no idea of the fur-raising adventures I had, and I'd hardly ever been terrified, except by large and unfriendly animals like Miranda's dog, Clem. Mrs. Brisbane put me back in my cage. Sorry, Humphrey, he said. You think you're sorry? Do you think you're sorry? I squeaked. I'm about the sorriest creature in the world. They laughed at my squeaking, which hurt my feelings, but I forgave them. They're only humans, after all. That's the end of chapter 7. If you haven't seen chapter 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, go check them out after this video. And yeah, they took me a long time to actually get these done. So please consider subscribing. So I'll see you guys in the next one with chapter 8. Batten down with the hatches. See you guys in the next one.